Hello, and welcome to getting our combat patrol of the Dark Angels based and ready for, well, not quite ready for the tabletop. Got quite a few steps before then, but this will be one step of the process, I guess. I'm going to leave this pretty uncut. I know there's a lot of people who are interested in seeing how the process works from start to finish. My videos are pretty highly edited, and I'm trying to experiment with some more long-form content. Hope you guys put this video on in the background as you're doing your own hobbying. I see that pile of shame. I see it. Anyway. I may make some cuts if my light dies or something like that, but for the most part, I'm just going to kind of leave this how it is. Now, I have 18 of the 19 models in this box fully assembled, and the reason that I did that is because I wanted to keep quite a few of them in various stages of the process, because even though I want to keep this uncut, like I said, I don't want to have to deal with drying times. I want you guys to still have something on screen going on at all times. So I'm just going to, well, here's what we're going to do. We are going to be building the, what is his name? Yeah, this guy. We're going to be building him from start to finish, and we're also going to be building the bases for most of them. There's a couple, the intercessors, I believe they're called. Guys with big plasma guns who look cool, and I like them. I swear, I just don't know the name. They are already based and, for the most part, ready to go. Then our Blade Guard veterans, for some reason I know their name, are not based, but they are assembled. And then all of our regular Space Marines, there's probably a better technical term for them, they are all built, but not based quite yet. And we're just going to walk through the process from start to finish. Like I said, they're just... yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. I'm going to start by talking about what my ideas were for this project and where it was that I wanted to go with it. So in order to do that, I've got the captain. I'm going to call him the captain, even though it's probably not his name, already here on sprue. I have a couple of bases that are, for the most part, ready to go, but they still need some material. A couple of blank ones that we're going to do from start to finish. All of the various models that we're going to eventually need, and I even made myself a latte just to make sure that we are going to stay caffeinated and on point today. So, like I said, let me start off talking about what my ideas were. Now, you'll remember, if fans of the channel, a couple of months ago we did the Betrayal at House on the Hill minis, and specifically the way we did them, well, let me start with the actual Dark Angels. So I went looking to figure out some lore about these guys, and as with every time I try to learn 40k lore, I went to the wiki. I was immediately greeted by a 40-page wall of text, and then I closed the wiki, which is usually about how the process goes when I try to learn anything about 40k. But thank God for the comments section where you guys informed me that these guys, the Dark Angels, are from a spooky forest planet. Yes, I will totally do that Sylvaneth kit bash at some point. That is a cool as hell idea. Thank you guys for telling me that that actually would work. My initial idea was to kind of do the bases in a sort of brickwork theme. Pretty similar to how we used sprue to make these false sort of wooden panels for the Betrayal at House on the Hill miniatures. But cut down a lot more, and obviously painted to look like bricks instead of looking like wood. I didn't want to actually end up going with that for a couple of reasons. Number one, Betrayal at House on the Hill is a pretty kind of silly game, so having the sprue in all these various crazy shapes really worked well for that board game, but maybe doesn't work well for Space Marines, which of course just take themselves completely seriously. I don't think that would have worked as well, though. God, I wish it would. Maybe for an Age of Sigmar army. We'll see. So here was my compromise that I eventually went with, and that's going to be... sorry, the exposure is really... had to turn down way down for this camera. But essentially, I wanted to go with a mix of coffee grounds as well as some sprue to make like kind of false bricks breaking through the dirt or moss or whatever we end up painting this as. The texture is just old coffee grounds. You guys have probably seen me use those in previous videos, and you can still sort of see the brickwork. Yeah, you can see the brickwork poking out there. We're going to paint those in gray, and the dirt either in probably black red, maybe saddle brown. I do want to have some reddish tint in there because there's going to be so much green on the model. I think that would help to add some good contrast. But yeah, having them sort of poking out of dirt seemed like a much better idea to sort of lean into that sort of decaying medieval knight theme, you know, like look like an ancient castle. And then we may continue to do larger and larger, more complex bases with more complex brickwork as we go into larger and larger models. So that's the idea. And it's going to start off pretty simply. And there's another reason I wanted to do this, and that's that while I like using thick basing material, the main problem with it is I drop my models constantly. Constantly. So having sprue on here that is susceptible to use with the Tamiya extra thin plastic cement that I use on just everything that I possibly can provides a much better hold. So having that extra plastic so I can put the Space Marines directly on this bit of sprue without burying their feet in basing texture is also just really, really good. So it sort of solves two problems there. This is eventually what they're going to look like. And then I do have one that's actually primed so you can have a better view of it. Here, this one is primed in white, which is how they're all going to eventually be. And you can really see the brickwork poking through a lot better here and how the texture works with it. Like I said, my plan is eventually do the brickwork in probably some sort of a light gray, and then I guess it may be a black red or a saddle brown, some kind of a dirt like brown, but with a reddish tint to it to contrast with how much green is going to be on the model. That's my goal. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started by getting this. I'm going to call him the captain, built up, and then we're going to go through getting some of these bases that we haven't done yet taken care of, and I'm just going to walk you guys through the process start to finish. Hope you guys have this on in the background while you're working on your own miniatures. I still see that pile of shame. Why haven't you fixed it yet? And of course, as always, my one request when you guys have watched this video, my one request that I have for you is that you steal all of my best ideas. Take them all and put them in your own projects. I really hope that you do that, and I hope that your minis look better than mine at the end of this. So let's go ahead and get started. You out of the way, friend. Ooh, I'm going to need that. Great. My milk foam is not quite where it needs to be. It's been a while. Oh, it's been a while since I've actually used the milk steamer on my machine, my espresso machine. Oof. You know, I should do the one thing that I never do when building miniatures. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to check the instructions. Where is he? What do we have here? Shouldn't be too complicated. But I don't want to embarrass myself on I'm not going to say on stream because I'm just recording this. I thought about doing this video just live. I thought about live streaming this, and then I realized that the idea of live streaming makes my skin crawl. So I'm just going to avoid that and just record this. Like I said, you guys can put it on the background while doing your own stuff. I think that's how most people are going to interact with long-form content that I make anyway. So, I mean, why bother even doing it live? That's just... It just feels like an extra step that's going to just end up not just getting in the way. Anyway, to start off with getting these off the sprue, one quick note, probably pretty obvious though, when doing these, it's really easy to sort of like slowly chip through. You want to be really quick and efficient when you're getting through these. Just quick and snap those off. And if there's any extra... I'm going to leave a lot of nubs on for right now. I swear I'm going to take this plastic cement and get them off later before we finish them up. He does have some rocks on the bottom of his feet. We can integrate that with the stonework, though. That shouldn't be too difficult. There's always one still attached that I don't see. Please forgive me if I randomly start singing songs from the Fallout soundtrack. That's been, for some reason, it's been stuck in my head for the last couple of days. I am probably just going to break into start singing Jingle Jangle at some point. Got spurs that jingle. Nope, not yet. Not yet. Dang it. Probably going to happen eventually. I do have a question for everyone, though. Who picks any weapon other than the chainsword? I mean, seriously, why would you pick any weapon other than the chainsword? It's cool as hell. I guess if you're into freehand and texturing, the sword, like the regular power sword, I guess, could look cooler if you're willing to do that. But, I mean, for me personally, I don't know why anyone would pick anything other than chainsword. Not only is it cool, it's also just iconic to the franchise, you know. I might be a filthy, filthy Age of Sigmar player, but boy, I love chainswords. They are cool as hell. I also love helmets, so you're going to notice that most, like 9 out of 10, and probably a higher proportion than that, of my models all have their helmets on. That's just what I prefer personally. Okay, there's the helmet. Oh, where are those instructions? We're going to start with... Okay, got to make sure. That's one thing that's always good to check the instructions for. Where do you put the helmet? Okay, you can just go right on top, I think. That's good. And then straight to the legs. All right. I'm never... It's easy to figure out what parts go with what, but it's oftentimes very, very easy to suddenly look back and realize, oh, you know, the head was supposed to be, like, slotted in here beforehand, and then you put the front piece on. Little stuff like that is good to know, and that's why it's always good to, like, take a look at the instructions, if nothing else. But I feel like half the time I'm just like, screw it. Throw it all together. I don't think that top part's even a contact point. Oh, well. I'm not going to put the helmet on just yet. I don't know what direction I want it to be facing just yet, so I'm going to wait for the helmet. I see. Okay. I got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle, jingle, jangle, as I go riding merrily along. They say, oh, can't you hear them jingle, jingle, jangle, as I go riding merrily along. Should have dry fit that first. Oh well. Yep, should have dry fit that first. I'm not sure how that's supposed to fit on there. Let me see. Wonder if there's another piece that's supposed to be. No, doesn't look like it. Alright, how do these fit together? Oh. I see. I see. Okay. When I was assembling these last night, I ended up like coming back the next morning and just being like, I don't like some of these, so I just ripped them off. Just took them straight off. And they'd already been drying with the plastic cement for a couple of hours. Whatever. That's the nice thing about plastic cement, though, is that even though it's a much harder, like it's a better fit in the long run, for the first like 8 hours, you still can just rip the parts off, and they'll still glue back together just fine because you're just melting the plastic together entirely. And then once you hit like an entire day of being glued together, then it's basically indestructible. Contact points are only along the outside edge here. As I go riding merrily along. Which of these goes with this? You go here. I'm pretty sure. We'll find out. Or maybe not. Nope, you go there. Looking good so far. He is a buff boy. Wait, where was the contact point? I think it's here. Just straight. I guess you know when you're doing a good job when you just straight forget where the contact point is 30 seconds after the pieces are attached. Oh, yeah, sign you're doing something right, I guess. Now, what else do we have? I like this power sword, though. I do like the sword. I just don't know why you would ever pick anything other than chain sword. It's so cool. Here's the other arm. How do I build this fist? Okay. That's on. That's on. How do I build this fist? A8 goes on top of that. Okay. No, I think that's for the relic fist. It's this 8. Okay. Like I said, I originally thought about live streaming this, but God, do I just... It's just an extra technical hassle, and I feel like 9 out of 10, you know, that's kind of the problem with live streaming. Is like you're constantly creating this new, you know, stream of content that people will enjoy once at the time, and then it's gone. And that's not a bad thing necessarily, but you know, it encourages people to just like sit around all day just pumping out, you know, and it's like, you know, there's a huge market for content that's just chill, you know, background stuff. And like I said, I hope you're getting a little hobbying of your own done in the background. You know what? I saw that pile of shame of yours get a little bit smaller just now. Great job. I am so proud of you. That's amazing. Ooh, this one is... Oh no, it's still fitted. Okay. So there is a specific position for it. Right there. despite how much I talk it up, the Tamiya extra thin plastic cement can be a huge pain in the ass if you're new to using it. I've been doing it for years, and I've gotten pretty good at getting stuff to fit together without me necessarily needing to like hold and mash it together for a while. So if you're starting out using this well, so much for that. If you're starting out, don't expect stuff to fit together quite as well until you're a little more used to using it. You know how it works. Okay, this one I'm going to have to actually hold together because I put way too much on there. And I usually do put on a little layer of super glue on it afterward. Just a little bit. Just to make sure everything's going to hold together. No, that's not where the contact point was. There's no point in that. Okay. All right, now I feel like I can put the helmet on. Man, that is deeply recessed in there. Wait, where's my little tool? There we go. Oh no. He's like turned 90 degrees. You're going the wrong way! Friend, no! What are you doing? Get out here. Get out. Get out. Get out of there. Come on. I need you to work with me here, man. Work with me. Okay, let's try putting it in this way. There we go. God damn it. All right. Remember that thing I said about putting helmets on in the correct order? Clearly, I did not. All right. That'll be good enough. There we go. All right. That's going the right direction now. He's put together. Let's get these pauldrons on. You know, the funny thing about Space Marine pauldrons is, well, first of all, the fact that I don't want to actually put those on yet. The funny thing about Space Marine pauldrons is that no matter what position I put them in, I always feel like I put them in the wrong position. Every time. Every time. Where does this cape go? How does this cape attach? Damn it, where are the instructions? Okay, let's see. Pauldron goes on this side. I'm already past that part. What? Okay. Shoot, okay. Alright, you're gonna have to come off. You... attach there? Is that it? That does not feel like it's supposed to be, like it's where this is. Oh, and that arm's coming off. Come on, stay on. Stay on. Alright. May just have to let this guy dry for a little bit. Okay. Hands are shaking. I've already had too much coffee. guess that's the contact point. I guess that's how it's supposed to attach. This is very odd. But, you know, plastic injection molding is not a, you know, it's a process like any other, and a flawed one. So, you know, sometimes stuff just doesn't fit together great. But I'm sure Games Workshop's doing the best they can with that. Alright, there we go. There we go. Okay. That needs to be removed. I'm about to go for that a couple of times. Okay. There we go. All together now. Just needs this other pauldron. Yeah, get it in there. Yeah, put some cement in there. Really get that stuck. All melted together into one solid piece of plastic. And I will paint around anything that goes wrong. Okay, so there he is, fully assembled. I only wanted to assemble one of these guys, like I said. The other 18 are already taken care of, so... Is there supposed to be something that goes in here? Or is that just like a dent in his armor? Oh, okay, I see. We got a few more parts to attach. Oh, he's not fully assembled. Not quite yet. Alright. Cape's on. The next one's going to be... They recommend putting the helmet on now? Interesting. Okay, so I've got these little things, and we got... Servo Skull, I believe is what it's called. Okay, 19 and 22. I swear I do try to learn some 40k lore whenever I'm painting stuff. It's just hard to figure out like how to go about doing it without having to read like 40 books. And that's not unique to 40k necessarily. Like I've said before, I'm a Star Wars fan, and I totally get why people are intimidated by that franchise, especially like the books and stuff. Like there's so much. But the movies are really accessible, at least. 22. This one. Okay. Oh, it just goes right on there. That's way too much. But, oh well. Go. And where does this attach? Okay, just like the back end of the cords. So like the center here is supposed to fit in, I guess. Oh, I see. I think I see it. That thing. I see. Okay, I see it. Perfect. All right. Now, what else do we have to attach? What's this there? Let's see. 17. Let's see. I already did that. That's pretty much done at that point. Let's see if I missed anything. No, no, no. Oh, there's one little thing there. 20 and 18 goes on the gauntlet. Let me see those. Very, very gentle. Very gentle. Alright. Grab this. And this one. I'm gonna take care of these nubs at some point. I'm really gonna need to. Oof. Okay. Oh, everything's falling apart. Everything's coming apart. If you're wondering why I'm not letting each individual piece dry, it's a very simple reason, guys. I am impatient. And that's why. Congratulations. Now you know. Come on. You're gonna fit, damn it. And this is why I didn't, damn it, assemble all of these on screen or on a live stream, because there would have been a lot of swearing by the time I got through 19 models. I would have just been an angry, swearing mess. But one model, that should be okay. There we go. All right. This guy's going to get set aside to dry, and we're going to go ahead and move on to the basing. Okay. Fortunately, he's able to stand up on his own. Reminder again, this is what they're going to look like at the end. All right. My 18 bases I still have. I've got, oh shoot, I forgot this one little piece. I'll take care of it later once he's dry. Now I've got 6 of these already done for the regular little Space Marines. Got the 3 for the Blade Guard veterans, the 1 for the captain, and also got another 4 for the regular Space Marines that we need to get taken care of. And like I said, the plan is to sort of make a like brickwork with dirt in between them. But the first thing we're going to do once we have these taken care of is we're going to make them all look like this. We're going to glue the actual Space Marines onto the brick itself, the sprue, and then we're going to fill in the texture from there. So let's get these 6 out of the way. And we're going to start with these 4. Now, all I'm going to do to make these is just take some old sprue, some stuff that was fairly thin. The thickness of sprue does vary pretty widely, so I'm just going to snip off a couple of pieces. Try to keep to just the straight pieces. Right, that's going to spill. Okay. We're going to need quite a few to do these chunky 45 millimeter bases. All right. Let me just go ahead and do a snip off the whole section here. And we'll take the flat pieces from this. Might be just about what we can get out of this little section. Yeah, I think that's all we're going to get out of this. Well, maybe here. That's it for that. Just gonna keep going till we've got a nice pile. Really want to make sure you're holding on to that small piece. Got to be careful about it, obviously. You don't want to end up clipping yourself. But if you don't at least keep a little finger on it, there's a very good chance of them just flying away, just flying across the room. Happened to me multiple times throughout this process. I still don't know where all the pieces ended up, if I'm being entirely honest. There's quite a few just lost in my carpet now. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll step on them and find them like 5 years from now and go, where the hell did that come from? probably good. Well, I may as well chop up the rest of this. Like I said, those 40 millimeters are going to be pretty big and pretty in need of a lot of sprue. Also, I was afraid this would end up being really way shorter than I thought, but we're already at like 40 minutes. I've only just assembling one model. I'm really, really glad now that I assembled 18 out of the 19. Kind of wishing I had pre-based a few more of them. Okay. I don't think there's any pieces I can get out of that. Grab all these extras and toss them in the trash. No, that one's trash too. Okay. Let's just see how far we can go with these. I think that should be more than enough for these 32 mils. Okay. I do have tweezers I could use, but I'm kind of lazy. Because they're bricks, though, I'm going to try to get them all going in the same direction. Like it's a, you know, a long, worn-out brick street that's since been covered with dirt, moss, whatever else. Just wear and tear from time. Should make for some really interesting lore, you know, add a story to the build. I think well, there's just not enough on there. I thought I just did the wrong side. That's happened more than once. Happens sometimes. Oh, that one's just not even touching the base. Yeah, that'll happen when snipping these sometimes. That's okay. Having them be at variable heights once again contributes to the sort of brokenness of the road. Oh, don't use that one. We'll get back on there. You just see the melted plastic just like spew out. Look at that. Look at that. Not spewing that much on this one, I guess. Ooh, you see it on that one, though. Ooh. It's good, though. That means that is solidly attached. Let me apply a little bit so this is a little less sharp. Don't quite want that. Okay. Let's continue with these. Let's clip that. Let's clean it up a bit. It's okay if they're not totally in line. Much like with a lot of grimdark painting, being old and decayed makes the painting easier. Okay, you're going to be over here now. No, you're going to be over there now. No, you're going to be over here now. There we go. There we go. All right. Definitely gonna have to cut some more before we do the 40 millimeters. Come on. Getting the bases up off this mat's kind of a pain. Oh, nice. All right. These things happen. These things happen. All right. Okay. Not again. Come on. Don't spill it twice. Well, it's a waste of a lot of cement, but it's all right. Make it work. I'm not going to apply very much. Genuinely afraid this base might just straight up melt. Ooh, wow, that is pungent. One more should do it. There we go. Okay, I'll set that one to the side just to dry. I'm actually going to move it off the mat. Just let it dry over on the wooden desk. It happens. It's a waste of good hobbying material, but these things happen. Man, it just took all the lines right off. Okay. may notice I'm putting exactly 5 on each of these. I'm going to do 7 on this one, but I always stick to the odd numbers look more natural rule. But I've got to be entirely honest, with so much of them, of the actual brickwork being covered by basing material, I'm not sure if it even matters on this one, but just in case. I'm still upset I spilled all that. Waste of good hobbying materials, but it happens. It happens. Alright, now, these Blade Guard veterans have a really wide stance. So, we need to concentrate on making sure that, like, each of these has a lot of it. And then probably just leave the middle open. We'll see. Really hard to get the actual cement onto the brush when these things are full below a certain point. Gee, Tamia, is that to make me want to buy more before the bottle is empty? Gee, I wonder. Okay. That one's started. I'm going to need a lot more. Still got only 4 more bases. I did also cut out this little section right here, like the center of one of the sprues. And I want to put that on one of these, so this will basically take up the entirety of like a 40 millimeter base. Useful off that. Man, look at how much work you've gotten done since we started this project. I am so happy for you, genuinely. Use that one. I'm not super worried about these coming off. They're going to continue melting like all night. And on top of that, they're going to have several layers of texture and whatnot that are going to help lock everything down. So I'm not super worried about them coming off, but I still like to make sure they're on there nice and tight. Probably being paranoid. Oh well. Okay, that's the first of the 40 millimeters. Let's get the rest of these done. Get this one done next. That should do. Alright. I don't think I'm going to use this for the captain. I think I'm going to use it for the sergeant of the Blade Guard veterans. Because 2 of the Blade Guard veterans have rocks to stand on, but he does not. There we go. Looking good, looking good. All right, let's put it into the side. God, this is already over an hour. I didn't think this would take that long. But when you melt one of your bases by accident, I guess that cuts into the time. You got to clean that up. That's okay. It's not about the mistakes. Once again, I don't want to straight rip off Bob Ross, but you know what I mean. It's about hobbying. It's about the chance to create something that's amazing, you know? Something people like, something people want to look at. I feel like too much of Warhammer is like trying to impress Instagram, you know? Show people, look how small this was, look how technically impressive this painting is. And like, you know, other people look at that, non-Warhammer fans look at that, and they're just like, yeah, wow, it's really small. But like, is it good? You know, is it something that people are going to look at and be like, wow? You know, not because, you know, if someone has to look at your models and be like, you know, if you have to explain to them why something is cool, you've already failed, at least to some degree. Maybe not entirely. You know, some content, whether it be, I hate using the word content, but some art is always going to need, you know, some primer. That happens. You know, some art is just has a context, has a story that requires explanation, but feel like miniature painting, for the most part, 9 out of 10 times should not be that. You shouldn't have to explain to people how technically impressive it is, how small, you know. And if your audience is uncomfortable looking at something, I don't mean like emotionally uncomfortable, but I mean like if they're having to squint to look and see the individual details, you know, they're not having fun. They're not looking at it and being like, wow, oh my god, that's cool. Or maybe they are. I don't know. Just my 2 cents, I guess. All right, last base. I feel like I'm kind of rushing with these last couple, but... Or I might just be not doing so hot because I'm high on cement fumes. That's happened more than I'd like to admit. Those fit together pretty nicely. All right, that's the last base. All right, we'll put these aside to dry for right now. Really make sure that lid's on tight. Okay. All right, in total we have 10 of these bad boys. Go ahead and get based. Probably not a good idea to have these right there. All right. Let's pick a good one first. That's going to work well with the contact points. That should do. I like that. It's always good when the first one works out well. That's going to sit for a couple of hours before we do anything with it. I don't want to turn it totally horizontal for fear that it's going to snap, it's going to fall off, but yeah. That's good. There we go. I'm going to stay on there. Come on. I think this guy's supposed to be like a story character or something. Oh yeah, I wanted him to have the one with the Aquila. Okay. This extra bit that I glued on here is just something from, I think it was a box of Space Wolves. These technically aren't the first Space Marines I've painted. I did do some of my first, I think my first Warhammer 40k miniatures I ever did was a team of Space Wolf Terminators. That was years ago, though. That was during COVID, I think. There we go. I like to imagine this guy's winking. You know, one eye. I love that. What about this one? Yeah, that'll do. None of them are going to be perfect, but even with the contact points being somewhat small, using a plastic cement, they should be fine. I don't think this was the same base that I originally grabbed, but that's okay. I'm also going to apply a little bit of super glue to these. Once they're completely dry, the cement is dry. And then of course they'll have the actual texture itself. We'll get into that in a sec. That'll also help lock them down. Perfect. Can't press them too hard. There we go. Okay, that'll do. That's 5 out of 10. I'm sure this will work. Yeah, that's going to be just fine. I'm not opposed to gluing on another piece of sprue if any of these just, like if the last one just really does not work with the last base. This guy with the grenade launcher too. I love that grenade launcher. It's cool. I think it doesn't look any different than the normal bolters though. Ah, well. just 2 more. Oh, this is our gentleman with the knife. I already know he's going to fit on this one because it's got a lot of stuff on it. Plenty of contact points. These are both pretty full. You don't need to press them super hard. In fact, if you do, they'll just kind of slide. I'm just going to leave this. Oh, this is the one that melted. Yeah, this is sticking to my hand. The bottom of the base. The bottom of the base is sticking to my hand. All right, you're going to sit for a while, and I'm probably going to have to brace him against something. That nice gentleman is braced against the jar that I use for holding my brushes to make sure it doesn't fall over. Sometimes you have to do that if they're a little top heavy. It happens. Just leave them there for a couple of hours and it'll be fine. Like I said, having the actual plastic cement, they're going to be so well welded. I use way too much anyway, which makes them really, really sloppy in the beginning. But later on, they will be rock hard, one solid piece of plastic, which is what we want because, like I said, I drop these guys constantly. And that's the last of our Space Marines. Now, we still have 2 more of our Blade Guard veterans. Our gentleman, the leader here. No, he's not the leader. No, he's not the leader because he doesn't have the special pistol. That's fine. Yeah, no, this is the leader. This one is the one with the special weird pistol. That's not plasma. It's something else. Volkite, I think. I don't know. It looked cool, and I liked the idea of the leader having a specialized weapon. Because that's kind of how it would work for, like, a squad, more than likely. Although I guess these guys are so specific, it's... whatever. I'm probably thinking too much about it. Now... Okay. Ironic thing is, these guys, their feet are so big, they probably didn't need the jumbo-sized contact point, because their feet are already larger than a normal Space Marine on the bottom, and they don't have the heels, you know, like the dented-in heel. So it's kind of unnecessary, but still. And yeah, that rock is on top of a brick. It's fine. We'll just cover that with the basing material. We'll factor around that. That's it for our Blade Guard veterans. Those 3 guys are all done. Now, what else do we have? I did want to get that other piece on. I think this was supposed to go underneath the cape. So you know what? Screw it. This is just going to go. Who cares? No one's going to notice. It was supposed to be beneath a cape anyway, so who cares? Well, let's figure out how do I want this guy arranged. Yeah, that'll do. Okay. I feel like I practice arranging them and then I just do something totally different once I'm actually putting them on the base. Oh well. He's going to need to sit. I'll just take that. That's all done. He will be ready in a couple of hours. Okay. Now, I'm realizing a flaw that I had in the process here. I originally planned on showing you guys how the base texture got applied, but I don't have... Oh, I don't have any that have had the time to dry but don't have the texture applied yet. That's okay. We're going to rush one of these. We're going to have this gentleman here. He's going to get rushed through. So we're going to go ahead and apply the base texture to him. Then I'm going to take you guys to the last parts of the process. And we're going to wrap this up here. So, all that I am going to do in order to finish this off, I need to grab my tray. Where did I put it? There we go. Royal Nickel paint. I swear, don't need you anymore. This is like one of the hobby materials I could not live without. Okay, I'm just going to get a little bit of that. I might have enough to do 2 here. But I'm going to take this gentleman. I'm actually going to brace my hand against the coffee cup. Take some of this. I originally tried this with a brush, but it was just way too much. And it just got everywhere. Plus, we're going to be putting coffee grounds on this. You do not want to ever get coffee grounds in your brushes. They will... That brush is then ruined. It's done. Don't do it. Plus, this is a lot more accurate. This cement is definitely not quite dry, but it's dry enough. It'll be all right. And we're just going to do it for this one guy, and then I'll apply for the rest later. I think this little bout, this video is long enough. Okay. Get that all up underneath his feet. Okay. It's hard getting it within the brickwork without getting it like all over his feet, but if it gets on his feet, it's not the end of the world. We're just going to have to scrape off some coffee grounds later, but that's all right. Okay, that's good. Rinse off the tool, because we're going to need it again in a sec. And then once again, I have a, this isn't actually garlic. This is a mix of fine espresso grounds and coarse cold brew coffee grounds. Baked in the oven, usually about, I think I do 200 degrees. I haven't had to make these in a while because once you get one batch, it lasts practically forever. And then bake them in the oven until there's absolutely no moisture left on them. Yep, you can still see those sticking through. This actually turned out a lot better than the other ones that I did recently. Nice. All right. So when this dries, the Royal Nickel paint is going to retract a lot. So it's not going to be quite this bulky. I'm going to tap this just one more time. A couple more times. Okay. As good as that needs to be. And that's set. That's all good. Yeah, the bricks are actually showing through a lot more on this one because of the tool helped a lot. The first couple that I did with the guys with the plasma weapons, it got way out of hand. I had to actually like go back and physically like scrape the paint off of the bricks so that they would show, which is fine. It's not the end of the world. And usually, I'm not going to lie, the first miniature you try in any style is usually pretty bad. So this is what they look like once they're dry. I'm not going to do the priming here because obviously I can't do that, but this is what they're eventually going to look like once they are all ready to go. And then once they're primed, I have one of those right here. We're going to start these guys off. For this specific paint scheme, I'm starting off in white, and this is what the entire box is eventually going to look like. So that's all that I've got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will give you guys updates on Instagram and probably post a couple of pictures here in the YouTube community tab whenever these guys are ready. Just like with the others, I am just going to pack the paint into like beneath these sections of his feet, these open parts. They're just going to get packed with paint and then stuffed with coffee grounds to make them, well, like I said, it'll fill itself out. And once they're all primed and ready to go, this guy did get quite a bit of stuff on his feet. That's fine. I really don't mind that. I think it actually adds to the lore. Having clean feet on a model actually kind of bothers me. But that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Hope you guys... I hope that your pile of shame is shorter by the end of this video. I will... Oh, wait. One more thing. I will see you guys in the next one.